Thank you for letting us know that. All right, I'm on page 94. We're in shift. Do not forget your MREA book. That's your playbook. We are all on a path to become millionaire real estate agents. That means we're on a path to gross $1 million, then net $1 million, then receive $1 million, and finally to give away $1 million because we walk like, talk like, look like, and have the checkbook of a millionaire real estate agent. And we're in shift. So I'm on page 94 and we're having a conversation on the contact, capture, connect, appointment, close section of shift. And today we're in the connecting part of that conversation. So once you've captured a name and number, it's time to connect. It's time to quickly lay a foundation for a working relationship. It's time to lay a foundation for a working relationship. You've heard me say the purpose of the conversation is to get an appointment. The purpose of the appointment is to create a foundation to follow up from. And that's exactly what Gary Keller is saying. Exactly what he's saying when he says it's time to quickly lay a foundation for a working relationship. The fundamental theme of connecting is curiosity. To know who someone is, to understand their wants and needs, and to become aware of their worries and concerns. When you meet with a buyer or when you meet with a seller, the three questions that they're asking themselves are, can I trust you? Do you care about me? And do you know what you're doing? Well, we convey that they can trust us and we care about them by taking the time to connect, by asking questions, by being in curiosity. When your home sells, where are you moving to? What's important to you about that? How soon would you like to be there? Why is that important to you? Take the time to connect. At this point, you are investigating, not selling. You are a consultant who genuinely wants to understand their situation and offer help if needed. Make sure you heard those last two words, if needed, because you can't force somebody to want to work with you if they don't need your help. Your job is to find people who need your help and then help them. Simple. Your goal is to generate trust and build confidence, first yours and then theirs. It is your chance to show them what it feels like to work with you. Their experience of talking with you at this point will have more to do with them hiring you than almost any other thing you can do, say, or send to them. Care, trust, and knowledge. All right, second paragraph, second line. The fundamental philosophy of connecting is people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. In other words, this isn't, underline that word, where you tell and sell your way to success, but where you ask and listen your way into their head and heart. I ask questions to connect. I don't tell and sell. I ask questions into their heart. Do you care about me? Can I trust you? Do you know what you're doing? Top of page 95. When you connect with someone, you demonstrate that you care. Drop down 3 lines. Then you'll ask again, and then listen and listen again. Be sure to take notes. It guarantees you will remember what they said, and if you happen to be with them, they'll see that you care. I've been on thousands of appointments. I've shared this with you before, and I've had homeowners tell me, John, so-and-so was here and they didn't write anything down. How are they going to remember what we talked about? What they're saying is that person that I met with clearly demonstrated that they don't care about me. They came on the appointment for one reason, and that was to get a listing. And that was it. They clearly didn't care about anything I had to say. If they did, they would have taken notes. I've known Gary and Nikki Ubaldini for almost 20 years now. And one of the things that I know about Gary and Nikki, and a habit that I learned from them, is they don't go anywhere without a notebook in their hands. Neither do I. And if you sit down to have a conversation with them, they open this notebook up and they start taking notes. 20 years later, I guarantee you, if I called Gary or Nikki Baldini and I said, hey, I'm going to pop by and visit with you guys when I come over next weekend to visit my son, because they live in the same place, right? And even if I came to their home and I was sitting there having a conversation with them, I don't care what it's about. We could be talking about baseball. They're going to pull out a notebook and start taking notes. And just when you think that you should talk, ask and listen some more. You don't talk your way into a trust relationship with someone. You ask and listen your way into a trust relationship. You've heard me say it many times. Become a master at asking questions. All right, drop down last paragraph. Connecting is more than making small talk. Connecting is not, oh, you play golf, I play golf, 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 golf. Hi, Elsa. Good morning. All right, bottom of the page. It follows a timeless formula you are surely familiar with: who, what, why, when, where, and how. And then Gary gives you at the bottom of the page 6 simple questions. Who are they? What do they want or need to do? Where do they want or need to do it? Why do they want or need to do it? In other words, why is that important to you? What would that do for you? On a scale of 1 to 10, if we can accomplish one goal in the sale of your home that would cause you to consider the experience, a 10, what would one thing be? I need to get my price. Cool. What does that look like? Why is that important to you? What would that do for you? All right, go to page 96. You're not specifically looking for what they need right now. Wants and needs are very different. For now, you're going to ask what they want or need interchangeably as you feel like it. Later on, when you meet with them, you'll absolutely distinguish between what they want and what they need. I want $550,000 for my home. Awesome. Why is that important to you? What would that do for you? Just out of curiosity, if the market says no to 550, what's plan B? And slow down and listen. You're listening in curiosity, not in judgment. I'm not telling them that 550 isn't going to happen, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find out, is 550 what they want, or do they absolutely need $550,000 in order to sell their home? If the market says no to 550, what's plan B? Well, I'll rent my home out. Cool. That might be a great option for you. Just out of curiosity, if you did decide to rent your home, what's your greatest fear? Slow down and listen. Now, more than likely, what you're going to hear is, I'll get somebody in my home who doesn't pay their rent, and I'm going to have to evict them. It's going to take several months to do that. They're going to damage my home in the meantime. And finally, 6 months later, I get my home back with $20,000, $30,000 worth of damage. And in the meantime, I didn't collect rent. Okay. That would be one of my greatest fears too. And are you okay with that? It's a curiosity question. More than likely, you're going to hear, no, I'm not okay with that. Well, then maybe renting isn't the right thing to do. So maybe 550 is something they want, not something they need. Now, if they need it, it might be a condition, not an objection. And in that situation, it might be an opportunity that you choose to turn down today versus letting them down 6 months from now. Because when I meet with a potential seller, one of 3 things typically happen. Either number 1, they understand and appreciate the benefits that I have to offer, and they hire me, which is awesome. The second thing that occasionally happens is they don't hire me, which is not quite so awesome. And the third thing that happens every so often is I may choose to turn the opportunity down. Now, you see, Maria, the reason I would choose to turn the opportunity down, if I felt a homeowner, a seller, had a goal that I cannot meet or exceed, I would rather turn the opportunity down today than let you down 6 months from now. Does that make sense? All right. Take yourself off mute. Raise your hand. There's 18 of you. Michael, you're up first. And talk to me. What are you hearing?
There was so much great content there, John.
Thank you.
One of the things that I loved was when you think it's your turn to talk, shut up and ask more questions.
Your wife would like that, by the way.
And that created an aha as well, right? People really, really like you and call you a great communicator if you just listen.
Yep. Nice job, Michael. What are you hearing? By the way, we're 7 in the room, so I was wrong. I said we would end up with 6.
I want to piggyback.
Please do. Loud and clear so people in the Zoom world can hear you.
I'm going to piggyback to what Michael was saying, and I was just thinking in my head as he was speaking, because I think we're all guilty of this. It's just listening and asking more questions and not telling. Not telling, because again, I personally can only speak for myself. It is very easy for me to tell and say versus ask. And I think that as the opportunity, if the opportunity arises, it would be great to go into what you were saying, the questions. You were saying role play with questions, because that's the kind of internalizing we all need.
Yeah. What Diane is referencing is I've suggested to all of you that you practice having conversations with one another, doing nothing but asking questions. Get really good at asking questions. When you hear a response, for example, on an expired listing call, I'm going to take a break. Cool. What does that look like to you? Well, I'm going to wait 6 months. Okay. Why is that important? What's the benefit of waiting 6 months? Now, just out of curiosity, if the market shifted and there's more competition 6 months from now, how do you feel about that? You know, if interest rates go up and your home is less affordable, how do you feel about that? Ask questions. Okay, page 96. If you look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Gary Keller gives you 6 different conversations that you can have in connecting and closing that are amazing scripts. If you haven't taken the time to write these down, write them down, write them down, write them down, and then PDR. PDR is practice, drill, rehearse in order to move to mastery. There's great scripts here. Now, paragraph on page 97, Gary says, you may have noticed that these scripts feel repetitive. Oh, this is so good. I want to get this in before we're finished today. And they are. The interesting thing about scripts is that they are observed one way and experienced another. When you read them or role play them, they can feel stilted and overly repetitive. That's how it can feel to you. But when received, they feel warm, sincere, and natural. My 14-point listing presentation, it is so repetitive. To me, I get bored. I shared that with you yesterday. Now, the person sitting across the table from me, they're not bored. They do this once every 7 to 10 years. They're receiving that conversation in a different way than the way I'm hearing it.
And it's important for you to not sound bored, because sometimes you repeat it so much that I feel like you're just repeating something that doesn't sound like enthusiastic and stuff to be motivated.
Yeah, you know, I've got my family doctor this is kind of dangerous because we're live on Facebook, but I don't think he's on Facebook. I've been going to the same doctor now for 6 years. And that dude is bored. I'm telling you, and it's loud and clear. I mean, when I walk into the office, he says, this way down the hall, second door on the right. And I'm thinking, I've been to your office 4 times a year because you make me come in once every 3 months to get a checkup. And that's 24 times in the last 6 years, you've said, take your first right, then left, second door on the right. I want to look at him and go, dude, I know where your office is. You don't have to tell me. And then so why are we here? Because you made me come. All right. Give me your ahas. Don't talk about my doctor. Oh my gosh, I hope he didn't see that. If I put out a message next week that I'm looking for a new doctor, well, then you know that he's on this call. Raise your hand, talk to me. Raise your digital hand, raise your hand in the room, talk to me. What'd you hear?
John, I think from the connecting piece, when the goal is to build the trust and confidence, once we've built the trust and confidence, then it gives us permission to close.
Yeah, there you go. Nice job, Michael. Nice job. The visual that I use and have used for 15 years when I teach my listing presentation is when I show up at the front door, there's this wall. They're not sure if they can trust me yet, right? And my visual is we're playing tennis. They're on one side of the net, I'm on the other side of the net, and we're playing against one another, hitting that ball back and forth. Now, by the time we get to the kitchen table, what my goal is for them, I've moved to the other side of the net, and now we're playing doubles. And it's the two of us against everybody else. Jose.
It's almost like you have to put yourself in the belief and in the mindset that whenever you're speaking to somebody that is potentially listening or something, you're saying it for the first time. Like that is the first time anyone has ever heard that you say that. We might practice it a million times in here, but when you're looking at somebody and bringing this presentation to them, you have to believe this is the first time you're ever saying it in front of a live audience.
Love it.
And it's going to bring that same enthusiasm, and that's the way they're going to see it.
Nice job, young man. Very well done. Okay, I don't want to leave anybody out. If you've got something you want to share, raise your little digital hand. And if not, we're going to close today's call. I hope you got value. As always, I hope you got your money's worth. Don't forget it was free. Let's see. If you sent me a message asking pre-ordered, raised your hand, sent me a message and said you wanted a copy of Rainmaker when it became available, if you wanted me to sign that and send it to you, please text me today at 727-686-0404. And I will get those out to you next week. Rainmaker is available online. You can go on Amazon today and order it, or you can buy one directly from me. Hey, you'll like this. If you don't have this app, download this to your phone. It's called the Cash App. You can't see that on the phone, never mind. Cash App, that's it, Cash, C-A-S-H, super cool app. And it's so funny because Hernan contacted me yesterday about ordering a book, and he was asking how he could pay me. And I said, do you have the Cash App? And of course, he's super techie, so he's laughing at me. I know he is. And he's like, of course, I've got the Cash App. This is so easy. If you don't have it, get this app. It's really cool. I'm not going to tell you what it can do because all of you are laughing at me right now. You're like, John, we know what it is. So text me 727-686-0404 and I will send you a book. You don't have to order it on Amazon. You can order it directly from me. And it would be my pleasure and honor to sign the book and send it to you. Okay, if you do that, give me your address too, by the way. All right, time to get to work. What is work? Work is 20 conversations. It's not 19, it's not 18, it's not 17 conversations, because when you have 17 conversations, you didn't have the 18th conversation, which could have been $1 million listing that you didn't get because you didn't have the conversation. Make care calls, not sale calls. Always lead with gratitude. I love my phone is blowing up right now. That's cool. Always lead with gratitude. Thank you for taking my call. I appreciate you. Bring value to every single conversation. Focus on getting an appointment, getting a referral, adding somebody to your database, and building a relationship. Find somebody today that is thinking of selling their home. It's a standard. It's not a goal. Don't stop until you do. Meet with someone today who's thinking of selling their home, whether it's next week, 30 days from now, 6 months from now, or a year from now. 727-686-0404. That was for you, Brian. It doesn't matter if they're selling their home a year from now, because a year from now, you're going to need listings. Meet with someone today that is thinking of selling their home. You're looking for opportunity, period, not opportunity right now. And then follow up forever, because you reject rejection, because no is not a word that lives in your vocabulary. No simply means not yet. Remember, people will never change their mind, but what they will do is make a new decision based on new information. And when you follow up forever, you're creating emotional proximity, which means that when that seller gets serious about selling their home, they're going to hire the person who's closest to them. Sometimes you succeed simply because you're the last one still talking to them when they get serious. Now, when they make a new decision, Diane, when they make a new decision based on new information, that new decision will be to
Hire me.
There it is. Okay, great job. All right, super proud of all of you. And what did I just do? Hold on a second. Okay, I probably should put my glasses back on because I can't see anything. I want to hit stop. Oh, there it is.
Are you still having